Hi, it's Julie Rothwell here. This is a quick, short, rough and ready video in response to some questions that I received yesterday. So I sent an email out to my newsletter. I'll be sharing more about this over social media over the next few days, but for now, currently just my newsletter, explaining that there are going to be some changes with the Art and Magic of Encaustic, my online course that I've been running. So if you don't know me, my name's Julie. I'm based in the UK. I'm an encaustic wax artist. I love sharing the medium with other people. I've been running online courses for a good number of years now, and I kind of recently wrapped all of my courses up. I've changed platforms. They've had a really good overhaul. Anyhow, when I did that, and it's been a really great exercise, I've had it running since end of August, beginning of September. We've been having monthly live calls, and it's been going great. The feedback has been amazing. I've loved it, and the ladies in there are so good. So really enthusiastic and supportive and encouraging, but it's having run it for a while, it's time to tweak the format and to change it. Now, as a bonus at the moment, what I've done is included 3 months of live support, of basically support for you to kind of encourage and help you along your way. Now, in short, I've had a bit of because of the volume and the value of the content that's in there, I've had a little bit of a slap on the wrist, shall we say, about the amount of content and value that is in there at the current price point. So I am going to be changing that just to kind of make it more in alignment with the value of the content that I have been sharing. But what I wanted to do was to just give people one last opportunity to jump in at the current in the current format before I change it all. So basically, the Art and Magic of Encaustic, as it stands, it's effectively 2 online courses. And it's basically I've kind of wrapped all of my foundational encaustic wax teachings up into these courses. Now, they fall into 2 categories. So there are the higher heat encaustics, which is where you're using wax and daymar and you're kind of layering up and building up in layers. And then there's the lower heat encaustics where you are working on in a single layer, normally on a piece of paper. They're quite different techniques, but they do often overlap with each other. So I did have all of that information on the one big sales page. And to be honest, it was too overwhelming for people. The feedback was that, well, and just even reading it myself, I could tell there was too much information on there. So how I have changed that and tweaked that over the time since September is I've actually split it out. So, and this then relates into some of the questions that I received yesterday. So, first of all, I'm based in the UK as well, so that was one question because people were asking about what the support looks like. So I'll come on to that in a minute. But I'm based in the UK, so that's my current time zone. Although I do try and switch, I will try and switch call times around if needed. But using one example, so there's a lady that I've been emailing with, and she has the iron and stylus and the tips, and obviously works with the lower heat style of encaustic waxes, working in a thin layer on paper. So there is an entire course section, an entire course covering all of that. We cover mixing colours, vivid colours, creating fantasy landscapes, starting off in a single colour, and then doing full colour versions as well. So that's one style in there. There's working with a stylus, there's working with a hot plate, there's using your iron as a mini hot plate. So there's loads and loads of different projects within that kind of lower heat section. So there's massive amounts of content in there. As I say, the feedback has been great. Now, what I've done, so that's kind of one, the course falls into 2 categories. So what I've done is when you purchase that, you also get the higher heat encaustics as a bonus. And it might be that you never ever even log into that. It might not be of interest to you. But the reason I've done that is because there are often so many overlaps. What I don't want people to do is to evolve and then find that they get onto I'm interested to know that. And then I'm saying, well, you have to go and buy that extra course for that. That's not covered in this course, that's in that. So that's why I've included that as a bonus. So if you want to work with the lower heat encaustic waxes, where you need to look, there are 2 different sales pages for these 2 different types as well, because as I say, it was all too much on one big page. So if you want to look at that, you need to go to wax.artyheaven.com/magic-encaustic. Now, one example of, so I had, you can go to my website actually and see this as an example. So I've had twin girls that have been working with me on and off over the years. And one of them recently did her Duke of Edinburgh award with me using encaustic wax as her study material. So she had been working with the iron, with the stylus, she's been creating pictures, she's been following along on my online courses. And yeah, never with the intention to begin to build up into layers. But once you're, and this kind of then falls into the support side. So once you're in a community of artists and you're getting feedback, or you're, it just sparks ideas off. So some of her latest pieces, she had started to add, they went on holiday to Cornwall, strangely enough. Not that I saw them, but she had picked up some sand from the beach and started to incorporate them into her encaustic wax pieces. Now that's beginning to merge into the higher heat encaustic style of painting. So that's just one example. You can go and see the blog with examples of her work that she did from the course. If you go to my website, there's a search, look like a little search magnifying glass. So if you put in Duke of Edinburgh, that should bring up that blog and you'll be able to see all the pictures that she created. So that's just one example. So say it might be that you never actually log into that higher heat section, but in time, and as you evolve and as your art practice evolves, you might find that you're ready to expand your skills a bit further. So you've got that core basic, well, it's not basic, there's so many videos in there and content. It's everything you're going to need to get started with that. So it's there for you. It's on the back burner. You get lifetime access. So it's there. You can log in at any time in the future. So then in terms of the higher heat encaustic waxes, can't speak, that is layering pigments, oil paints, oil sticks, pan pastels, mixed media, and we're actually fusing. So we're using a heat gun or a blowtorch and we're building up in layers. So we're painting the wax on in that scenario and it goes through. There are health and safety implications. There's a whole range of different implications with that. So if you want to look at that one, you want to go to wax.artyheaven.com and that one is /encaustic magic. So you're just twisting the 2 URLs around basically. So one directs to the lower heat waxes and one directs to the higher heat waxes. And then on that one, you then have the lower heat waxes as a bonus. So ultimately, you just end up in the same place as the offer currently stands. You have access to the whole shebang of information. And the reason I do that is, again, there are so many tips in there in terms of using hot plates, different hot plates, using the stylus. A lot of people say they don't get on with the stylus at all. So there's really good troubleshooting tips in there for how to use the stylus, which is a really good tool to use on top of those layered encaustic pieces. There's information with the iron. There's quite a lot of extra information. And again, you might log into the higher heat and then never ever look at the lower heat. But as and when you've got questions that come up, it's great to be able to direct you back to those pieces of information. So that's how I've set it up. So yeah, those are there. So hopefully that begins to answer that. In terms of what does live support look like, as it stands, and this is what is changing, there will be 3 months of live support. Now what that includes are 2 Zoom calls each month. We work on a project or a theme, and also a private Facebook group where you can ask questions and I will come back and reply. And it's those 3 months of live support. That's the section that's going to be changing. So moving forward, that will move into more of a paid subscription kind of format. So the current cost is £220, including the 3 months live support. So that is going to be, it's going to be your best opportunity basically to get that volume of support for that price. Going forward, the Art Magic of Encaustic will be like a standalone, no support, self-study online course. So I hope that answers your questions. Any more questions, please let me know. It's been really helpful to get your feedback. So yeah, I'll catch up with you soon. Take care. Bye.